Srimati Verma ji, Ketan ji, Milan ji, Mukesh, respected guests here, and most importantly, the winners and other students. I'm indeed very honored to be here today amongst you to participate in this joyous occasion where we are celebrating excellence in research, excellence in academia. There is absolutely no doubt at all that the only way that this country can indeed solve the problem of poverty is if we produce more and more new knowledge. Producing new knowledge is what research is all about. And therefore, every one of the winners today and every student assembled here and having aspirations to do their PhD, produce good work, are all going to be part of this journey of India sorting its problem of poverty. Congratulations to every one of you, but congratulations even more so to the two wonderful brothers who have, and of course their families and their company, who have instituted these awards in the honor of their father. I think this is perhaps the best way that you can honor one's parents, one's seniors, and those of you who are the winners today are in essence examples for the rest of us on how we Indians have to be, because you stand for excellence. You stand for doing the best possible under the circumstances. You have competed with the best in the world. You have demonstrated that you are up there amongst the best. And therefore, to participate in a function honoring such people is indeed a great privilege for every one of us on the dais and for all the elders assembled here. So let me stop here, because I have realized that giving monologues to particularly younger people does not have as much use as conducting an interactive session where I would be in a position to answer some of their questions. So therefore, I would be very, very happy to answer the questions of some of you students.
Would request Dr. Ketan Bhai to moderate the session, and for whosoever wishes to ask a question, you may raise your hand, and our volunteers here would come to you with a mic, and then you please ask the question.
Yeah. Very good afternoon, sir. Sir, considering in-step model, which is a Infosys flagship internship program that attracts a talent from the top academic institutes around the globe, what do you advise the other other industrial sectors on having a similar kind of collaboration with the academia on research?
Well, let me give you some information about why we started the InStep initiative in 1996. My desire was that our youngsters would become much more open minded if we gave them an opportunity to interact with the youth from other countries. Second, I wanted the youth from other countries to come to India, understand the Indian culture, understand that India has a lot of good things, and at the same time do some important work that will be used by Infosys so that they would have the satisfaction of having spent their summers in a very productive way. The third reason why we started InStep was because I knew that at least a small percentage of these youngsters would become leaders of those societies. Because by and large, the kind of people that we have selected in InStep are people who have gotten at least 3.8 out of 4 in their CGPA. And I said, look, if these people become leaders of those societies, the prime ministers, the presidents, the ministers, very important bureaucrats, then they will have a soft corner in their heart for India. These were the reasons why we did that. But at the same time, we said we will give these youngsters a very tough problem to solve because we don't want these people to think lightly of India. We wanted them to have a lot of respect for India. And we said for that respect to come, we have to make them work extremely hard. It has worked pretty well. We, on an average, every year we get about 175 youngsters, both in the summer of the northern hemisphere and the summer of the southern hemisphere. In other words, we get people from the US, Europe, Asian countries in this summer part or in our summer, and then we get people from South America, Southern Africa, Australia, New Zealand, etc. during their summer or our winter here. These youngsters are invited to the homes of our Infosys colleagues, and they understand our culture, they celebrate our festivals, and we take them every weekend to some place nearby where they can see all the good that is in India. So I would say that it is a good idea for every company which is of a certain size to conduct this experiment, because the biggest need of the day is to emulate or is to actionize what a 5,000-year-old Sanskrit saying means, and that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is, the whole world is one family. That's how we thought about InStep.
I'm sure all of you will agree that it is a tremendously visionary step to be influencing citizens of other countries to have a soft corner for India. Dr. Murthy, I have a question. What are the essential traits which innovators must have?
Well, innovation is all about making things cheaper, faster, and better. Invention is about bringing to existence some new gadget, some new facility, in some cases, even new ideas. Whereas innovation, by and large, is about improving what already exists so that you can make it cheaper, faster, and better. Now, for us to become innovation oriented, everybody in the company, starting from the janitor right up to the chairman of the company, has to simply ask these questions. One, how can I do whatever I did yesterday faster today? How can I do whatever I did yesterday cheaper today than yesterday? And how can I do whatever I did yesterday with a higher level of quality today? In fact, in 1991, we were a very small company at that time. We were probably about 120, 130 people. So we conducted a workshop on innovation. So there we ensured that whatever we said was communicated in English, in Hindi, in Kannada, and in Tamil, because these were the languages that people spoke. And everybody, from a janitor, from a cleaning woman, right up to the chairman of the company, was present. And that was a one full day seminar on examples of how various people had brought innovation. We had deliberately chosen a janitor, we had chosen a clerk, we had chosen a security guard, we had chosen a software engineer, we had chosen a finance executive, human resources executive, etc. Next day, one of the peons who was in charge of keeping our conference room clean came to me and said, "Sir, I really didn't understand this term that you people used, innovation." He was an unpad. He was really not an educated person. "Can you please explain to me?" I said, "Sit down, I'll explain to you." I said, "Look, every day one of the important tasks you do is to keep this conference room very clean. Now, when you go to the conference room today, first ask a question: how can I clean this conference room cheaper today with less money or less soap than I did yesterday? Second, I said, when spend some time and go to the market and find out, is there a new cleaning liquid which is cheaper than what I am using today? Third, I said, yesterday you were using one hand to clean this table. Today you try and see if you can use two hands to clean the table. Then you will clean it faster. Third, I said, yesterday when you cleaned, perhaps there were a few specks of dust on the table. Today you take a decision that you will ensure that there is no dust. And then he understood the power of innovation. So therefore, my belief is that innovation is not limited to only those in the laboratories or those at senior levels. Innovation can be introduced into an organization by everybody, starting from the the lowest level employee in terms of the hierarchy of the organization to the highest level employee.
Thank you very much. What a comprehensive answer.
I would ideally like alternately a man and a woman and a man. We have already started with a man. Now let's get a question from a woman. Yeah, please.
To support the higher education, Indian government is putting a lot of efforts to bring many new institutions of higher education. There is a great opportunity to develop their own system where we can really have all the inputs to support the best quality higher education. I would like to have your input or your suggestions, remarks for the people who are heading the institution. What should they do and what should they not do? I would say, if you first suggest us, what should they not do to see that we are creating the world class institution in the country?
Talking about what they should not do may take about 5-6 days. So I will limit to only one or two what they should do. I hope. No, I know. I'm very proud to be an Indian. I have tremendous respect for the old Indian culture. So what I am going to say does not mean that I think any less of Indian culture. The reality of India is simply this. Even though once upon a time India was one of the leading countries in knowledge and research, whether it was invention of zero or whether it was Brahmagupta's theorem or whether it was Hemachandra's triangle, which is today, after 300 years, Pascal did the same thing, and today we all know it as Pascal triangle. All of that, there is no doubt that once upon a time, India was one of the leading countries. So, for heaven's sake, please do not think that I think any less of India. But the reality is today, India is nowhere near the top, nowhere near. There is no Indian institution in the top 300 universities in the world. That is the reality. Now, you may say, no, we don't accept how they rank. That is, that's your decision. But if we want to be part of this world, part of this planet, if we want to get respect from other people in this planet, then we have to agree to go by a certain norm that everybody in this room accepts or everybody in the world accepts. So, by that norm, India is nowhere near. So, what we need to do if we really want to create at least 10 institutions in the top 50 is first to de-link education from political influence. Unless our politicians realize that the future of the country depends upon good quality education, unless they help education becoming purely the task of educationists, it will become difficult. One. Second, we should not bring ideology into education. In other words, we have to increase our interaction with those countries that have performed better than us in higher education and research. We should be open-minded. We should be ready to say, yes, they have performed better than us. Therefore, we will understand what they are doing, and therefore we will perhaps catch up with them, and someday we will overtake them. Third, we have to increase the interaction with countries where there are a large number of world-class universities with Indian academia. Fourth, I think we must give an opportunity for our students to go and attend more and more world-class conferences. We have to invite those youngsters to come here and spend some time in our universities and our colleges, etc. I think once we create opportunity for interaction between our youngsters and those youngsters, I believe that over a period of time, our youngsters will rise to the occasion and will start performing at the level of the world class standards. Now it can be a man because we have.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you have designed and implemented the global delivery model, and which practically became the backbone of the Indian IT industry.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to us what is global delivery model, and can it be applied to the pharmaceutical industry?
You know, your industry is a more difficult industry than our industry in some sense, because you require a lot of research. For success in your field, you require a lot of investment. It's a long, tortuous and torturous process. I hope you youngsters understand the difference between torturous and tortuous. Tortuous means convoluted. Torturous means full of torture. Painful. So your industry will only produce results if the government and the industry comes together, and the government provides lot of support, financial and otherwise, for a few genuinely merited entrepreneurs to say that, look, we in India want to produce at least 5 molecules, which it shouldn't be the re-engineering or whatever. It shouldn't be the generic stuff. It should not be reverse engineering. It has to be a new invention. That's the only way India can create competition to the world-class pharmaceutical companies. But that is a very tough task, very, very tough task. It will require a lot of money, but it is worthwhile that we put in probably 20,000-30,000 crores to at least come out with one such effort where Indians can stand up and say, oh, we are very proud of our country.
Thank you.
We have to go to a woman.
Namaskar, sir. My question is how to face adversities and challenges in business.
How to?
Face adversities and challenges.
The way I handle things is the following. There are situations which are beyond my control, and I don't worry about them because there's nothing I can do about it. Because there are so many things that I can actually solve, but I'm not doing. So therefore, whenever I see a problem that I am confronted with, I ask a question. Is this something that is within my control or it's something outside my control? If it is within my control, then I start working hard to try and solve it. It's not assured that I would solve the problem, but I will become very busy in solving that problem. The moment you take a step towards what you think is the right direction to solve that problem, let me assure you that lot of your worries will go away. Worries and anxiety come to only those who spend time on worries and anxieties. Only those who do not think of solution. The moment you think of solution, then it reduces quite a lot because you are very busy. On the other hand, in the case of things over which you have no control, that is when we have to pray to God that God gives us enough strength to bear that, to handle that situation. That is where faith becomes very, very important. And that is the time when you realize the power of God. That is when you sleep better if you pray. Therefore, I would say, of course, even in the other case, you need God's blessings. There is absolutely no doubt because everything depends on faith. You need hope. A person who loses hope will not be interested in living long. On the other hand, hope comes from faith. And faith comes from your belief in yourself and the belief that there is somebody who is looking after you. So I would say have faith in God. If there is a problem that you can sort out, start solving it in your own small way. That will make you occupied, that will give you energy, that will give you confidence, and you will be surprised at how you can solve those problems. And if it is something completely beyond you, then pray to God that God gives you strength to bear that.
Last question because we are tight on the schedule.
Thank you. I am Padmin Buch. Sir, we all know that there is a paradigm shift in our economy. Knowledge economy is everywhere. In fact, what we are doing is a knowledge economy, the word itself. And IT is a very important component of knowledge economy, information technology. Sir, IT in India is already revolutionized. It is going leaps and bounds ahead. What we would like to understand and know is the role of information technology with regards to the pharmaceutical industry, relevance and future of IT in pharmaceutical industry. Like bioinformatics is already there. Is there something more? Is there some specific which IT and pharma industry? Thank you, sir.
Well, as I pointed out earlier, pharmaceutical industry depends a lot on research, a lot on development, a lot on processes, and a lot on systems. IT is all about developing systems. IT is about making the drudgery tasks being done faster and faster so that human beings can use the time that is least to do better quality work in the context of pharmaceuticals, to do better research, to think of new ideas, etc. Therefore, I would say that creation of databases, creation of search methodologies, creating systems for documentation, creating systems for searches, for linkages, etc., etc. These are some of the things, some of the systems that we have developed for large pharmaceutical companies outside India. I mean, you know the names, I don't need to mention them. So, the role of IT will be to help you create systems and accelerate the pace of research. Now, today, thanks to all the advances in artificial intelligence, in machine learning, in data analytics, in big data, etc., in fact, the research in pharmaceuticals can be accelerated. You can use the machines a lot more to do things that were almost impossible for human beings a few years ago. For example, machine learning. Machine learning is basically like curve fitting when there are 500 variables. I mean, that's a very, very complex task. I don't think human beings can do that. But today you can do that thanks to machine learning. Now, in artificial intelligence, basically it is about mimicking human beings in solving problems. There's so many things. There are expert systems are there. There's so many areas where what we thought were the preserves of human beings are now being relegated to the machine. I mean, once upon a time, we couldn't believe that a machine can answer your questions and give you which flight is available next, whether it's delayed, whether there is seat on it, etc., etc. Now, all of that is all done from your phone and all the answers are available to you, right? So, like that, there are a lot of areas where thanks to artificial intelligence, thanks to machine learning, thanks to big data, thanks to data analytics, you are now in a position to accelerate your research in pharmaceutical using IT.